We have a number of speakers. Colleague Tsoukalas first.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I listened to this presentation on the mobility of young researchers with great interest. It's a real shame that there aren't more colleagues here this afternoon, because the previous presentation by the Director General of the GRC combined with this study on the mobility of researchers, together with what we heard at the first European Innovation Summit over 2 days, together with the Lund Declaration and the 2025 trends, together with the failure of the Lisbon strategy, together with the situation in research and the fact that it's non-European countries that are at the forefront, all of the things I've mentioned make this debate extremely topical. Now, the study that was just presented examines the root causes thoroughly. It looks at why there isn't a lot of mobility in European research. Now, what I don't know relates to your conclusions and recommendations. I'm wondering whether there could be a more practical approach. At some point in your recommendations and conclusions, you say that the individual member states should be pressured so that there can be more coordination. I don't know whether maybe there should be more specific measures mentioned, and I don't know who has to take these measures. However, our committee is the committee responsible for research. And now that we know about all of this, we should bring our influence to bear on the relevant community institutions so that research will not be seen as an ideological concept that we only cover in strategies and studies. The figures are very clear. 60% of science findings come from the United States, and most of it is in English, and 80% comes from the United States. 80% of Nobel Prize winners come from 60 universities in the United States that produce 60% of American scientific outcome. In other words, 36% of total world outcome. And if I remember correctly, the US produces 25% of total world patents. Now, if we want to do something, we have to take a more radical approach. We have to be more revolutionary. It's patently clear that something is missing here in Europe. I'm not saying that the EU hasn't accomplished a lot. The EU has achieved a lot. We at least are now aware of the problem, but we need to go a step further. So maybe our committee can help take that step forward. We've realized that we have to invest in excellence. We are aware of the fact that it's not just about throwing money at something. It's more than that. Now, the market wants more products and cheaper products, and it's only if we invest in excellence that we can achieve this. Excellence isn't just about principles, it isn't just about an ethical approach, it's about money, and the EU has realized this. But there are factors such as mobility or a lack of mobility that are hampering progress. And they're basically holding Europe back. The Lisbon strategy was too optimistic. It thought that there would be a knowledge knowledge-based economy by 2010, but we're nowhere near there. So we say that we want a knowledge-based economy, which is based on the triangle of knowledge, that's what we call it. Education, research and innovation, that's the triangle. And I think that we really need to stand firmly behind this and push it forward. I don't know how exactly, but I think that this committee should have a more detailed debate on this and decide on specific measures to recommend to the rest of the European Parliament. And we really have to do something urgently. I'm sorry that I didn't focus more on the specific presentation, but I just wanted to express all these views.
Thank you. Can I just add something there? I think you are completely right. Perhaps in this committee we really need to think about spending more time on these debates. We've spent a lot of time on energy and climate change debates over the years. Perhaps we should think about whether we've got the focus right. And I would ask colleagues and coordinators to think with me about how we can correct the steer on this one. I think for next year we want to make this an important point. Thank you very much. Well,